Hey everyone, welcome to GGN. This is Friday, December 6, 2013. I'll cover weather modification and conspiracy news and other stuff. So there's going to be like a cold front coming on the western part of the U.S. So not seen since 1990, a historic event, setting sights on the entire western USA, which means that areas from Seattle, Portland, down into California are in for a real cold air mass, most notable over the Pacific Northwest and threatening production along California's I-5 farming corridor. So that was on the 29th. Then you skip to this. A winter storm warning issued for southwest Oregon through northern California on Friday, December 5th. Well, for Friday, I guess December 6th, but a cold system will work down the Oregon coast on Thursday night, finally bringing snowfall to southwest Oregon and northern California on Friday. Some areas will see snow where it normally does not happen, such as Chico to Redding. However, it's happened before. Snowfall in these areas is considered a rare treat. And there's a little map of it going into almost Nevada. Major winter storm basically is hitting as of the morning of Friday. Snow is falling in more than 10 states, including Denver and northern Minnesota, hit even harder with snow accumulation totals over 2 feet. Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee are under ice storm warnings until tonight. So additionally, a winter storm warning stretching all the way from Texas to Ohio is in effect, while parts of Oregon and California are also on a warning, which we just covered. Ice storm warning, so just hearing lots of ice. So into Texas, Arkansas, parts of southern Indiana, and Illinois, parts of Missouri. They're talking about a storm system ejecting out of the southwest of the United States will drag a frontal zone through the region. And this is, I'll go back to that. This is probably what this is part of it. This is the Chemtrail forecast system. And it's pretty smooth right there. That's about the smoothest I've ever seen it. But at least here in the Midwest, we haven't seen too much of the sun. This is from 12.5. This is the long wave data for basically Haarp status, and you know, we have right here, lo and behold, right, high, very high out in the west coast, and basically high, moderate high, down there in the south. Those two parts they were just talking about. So this is a completely engineered front or storm. And then you go in here. This is basically Friday. This is Saturday. It actually kind of gets wider. Then it goes into Sunday, kind of breaks up into 3-4 different parts, and then it just goes back into the line again on Monday. So some caveman news here. Oldest known early human DNA recovered from December the 5th. So Arapurca, apparently in Spain. It says here that they found these remains of 43-foot chimney in the winding cave system of Cueva Mayor. It contains about 5,500 ancient human bones dated at over 350,000 years old. They're saying that I think they just washed up in there, but they're basically saying they recovered and analyzed the earliest known human DNA. The DNA was thought to be that of Homo heidelbergensis, a group of extinct humans, roughly comparable in height and looks to Neanderthals. After sequencing 98% of the mitochondrial DNA genome, they found that the femur that they drilled into clocked in around 400,000 years old, placing its former owner in the middle Pleistocene, and making the DNA by far and away oldest human DNA ever collected. The previous record belonged to a 100,000-year-old Neanderthal. They said that it didn't share a common ancestor with Neanderthals, but instead this, I don't know how to pronounce it, I'm sorry, I'm butchering this, but Denisovans, a mysterious subspecies of humans discovered in 2008, that last shared an ancestor with Neanderthals and Homo sapiens about 1 million years ago. They say the more that they learn, the more things get more curious. So, but I'm not really sure if we'll ever really be told how we came to be, whether it was evolution, whether it was genetic engineering by some other race of people. So another article I found from the 3rd of this month is Neanderthals were fine housekeepers. This study finds that they organized domestic space much like humans, as they unearthed evidence that they weren't the brutes that the name suggests. It turns out they kept well-organized caves. The researchers working in Italy said the caves were separated into distinct areas, one at the rear, used for butchering and preparing game, one near the middle with a hearth for meals and gatherings, and one near the front where they made stone tools. I personally think that, as far as they say, oh, it's evolution, we adapted, I think that they were genetically created for the changing weather. And when they dropped down their next little experiment, these guys just all of a sudden went away. So moving on, Europeans can expect more heat waves and droughts as they continue to carry out weather modification. Europe will likely be a much warmer place by the century's end, plagued by frequent downpours over its entire landmass and heat waves and droughts in the south, new researchers showed, and of course attributed to global warming and climate change. Studies unveil differences in men and women's neural wiring. The study carried out observed basically a map of the brain of both sexes, revealed greater neural connectivity from the front to the back and within one hemisphere in males. It says that the male brains are structured to facilitate connectivity between perception and coordinated action. They say here that women's goes between the left and right hemispheres, indicating that they facilitate communication between the analytical and intuition. The findings explain why men in general tend to be better at learning and performing a single task, like cycling or navigating, whereas women are more equipped for multitasking. And just think how crazy things are as far as how engineered our society really is, and how distorted genders are, and preferences and stuff. The way they've redesigned everything. And I think the result of that, at least maybe the blowback, or maybe it's directly, maybe that's the direct cause, that's what they want. But you have, let's say, homosexuals where they want to be with their own kind, their own gender. I don't know if they say that they're not attracted or they have some kind of issues with the opposite sex so they can procreate. And then you go on the other side and you see about these people that are called transgender, and it's like it's not so much that they want to be with their own gender and not the opposite gender and create some kind of what I think would be a natural balance, but they don't even want to be their own gender at all. So talking about confusing the roles in that, and so no wonder why, men don't know how to act like men, or women don't know how to act like women. They don't know what their roles are. And that goes in line with this article I'm about to talk about, with feminizing men and masculating women. And they're changing. I went through the whole thing when I had the Hermit Cave show about the changing of will, where women are I feel and men are I will. So they carry out the will of the woman, right? But they've changed it and they distorted it, where men are now saying I feel this, I feel that. So you have a bunch of guys that can't make any decisions and just do something. Then you have women that are taking charge, and of course you have women like Miley Cyrus who think that being a woman is, grinding and selling their sexuality. Or any other extreme would be for the male would be, I'm going to go and I'm going to be a football player or UFC, and I'm going to beat somebody until blood starts flying everywhere. So no balance, basically, is what I'm saying. More men speaking in girls' dialect. Study shows more young men in California rise in pitch at the end of their sentence when talking. New research shows it's known as uptalk, and Valley girls speak. It's been in the past associated with young females, typically from California or Australia. I guess that's what they're talking about. But now a team says that this way of speaking is becoming more frequent among men. We found that uptalk in all of our speakers, despite their diverse backgrounds. So this just goes to tell you, this is from the culture industry, completely engineered. Ethnicity, bilingualism, and gender. So traditionally it's been used or described as valley talk or something like that, where people tend to be slightly dim, shallow, insecure. But they say they're misunderstood. They said here that the app talk had negative connotations, which has had men less likely to admit to using it, but What was clear was that it was spreading. It grates on people. Some people think it sounds really ditzy or insecure. This does not accurately come across like that to the native speakers. So you're talking about will, right? Willpower. Women leaders. Typically, women are trailblazers in language change and take up innovative features first, then males start using them later. So it says here a 10-year-old was suspended for shooting imaginary arrow. He was threatened with expulsion under a weapons policy, for which I guess they have a zero tolerance policy. Zero tolerance. School bans Christmas trees and kids from wearing Christmas colors and saying Merry Christmas. In Texas, they passed the Merry Christmas bill last June, designed to nullify legal risk of saying Merry Christmas and protect all of the traditions, I guess. Regardless of the new law, elementary school in Frisco, Texas recently banned students from wearing green and red colors, making references to a Christian holiday, and Christmas trees from upcoming winter party. 2 million passwords for Facebook, Twitter, and Google were posted online. So Google, Yahoo accounts have been stolen and posted online via a Russia social network site. So you may want to check that out. 1,580,000 website login credentials were stolen, along with 320,000 email and 41,000 FTP accounts. The one thing I wanted to mention too was something about the Snowden files. Only 1% were actually put out there online, or at least published. 1%. Google working on some sort of, so they keep, that's why you keep hearing the same thing. Oh, they're spying on you. NSA spying on you. NSA spying on you. That's all they're telling us over and over again, so people know. Google, and they accept it, I guess, which, I mean, what are you going to do? You know, if you're going to be online, I don't really see that you're going to have much privacy. That's just me personally, unless you're, you know, a guru hacker or something like that, or you have some money. Google working on some sort of robotics project. So they have 2 life-size humanoid robots hanging suspended in a corner in their Google office. They acknowledge the robotic vision that they have. Over the last year and a half, Google's quietly acquired 7 technology companies in an effort to create a new generation of robots. So their expected targets are in manufacturing, like electronics assembly, where all those Chinese factory workers are with little masks are working 12-hour, 16-hour shifts. And they go to their home, to little cubicle apartments. And like I said, when China goes fully autonomous, that's when you might actually see a mass culling or culling of the population, whether naturally or artificially induced. Nissan begins autonomous vehicle trials on Japanese roads, so kind of like the Google car. The automaker tested a self-driving Nissan Leaf electric vehicle on public roads for the first time and said the exercise was a success and driverless monitoring. So that's kind of like Demolition Man. This crime-predicting robot aims to patrol our streets by 2015. That's where they put it, right? All out there, out in the open. Remember, the dude was actually getting tickets, too. Scene from 2004, iRobot involves an army of rogue NS5 humanoids establishing a curfew and imprisoning citizens of Chicago circa 2035 inside their homes. It's dubbed the K5, autonomous data machine, 300-pound, 5-foot-tall mobile robot. I think I covered this before, but have nighttime video cameras, thermal imaging, license plate recognition. So be able to work by itself, though. That's the key. And scientists are saying that determination can be induced by electrical brain stimulation, basically to motivate people. Doctors have induced feelings of intense determination in 2 men by stimulating a part of their brains with gentle electric currents. The men were having a routine procedure to locate regions in their brains that cause epileptic seizures when they felt their heart rates rise, a sense of foreboding, and the overwhelming desire to preserve against a looming hardship. So there's this new newborn to toddler activity seat, and the only reason we cover this is because television and other entertainment media should be avoided for infants and children under the age of 2. The child's brain develops rapidly during these first 2 years. And it says here, children learn best by interacting with people, not screens, according to the American Academy of Pediatrics. The other news, screen time resulting in children turning up to doctors with motor delays, decreased muscle strength. They can play and learn. It's at the baby's fingertips with free apps you can download on your iPad. Get locked in, ready to be dumbed down. Commercial space companies revealed designs of a lunar lander that aims to send to the moon in 2015. U.S. spy satellite logo is not subtle at all. An octopus enveloping the Earth. The House panel hears that the odds of alien life are very high. Remember the giant sea serpents washing up on shore recently? You have an 800-pound sea creature caught off Miami. And then Britain's alien squid mystery. So seems like these are like deep sea creatures coming to the surface for some reason. Something's going on down there.